All right, we start this December 21st, 2023 with Kitty already on the recliner. Linda's come home early and I'm headed off. All right, February, hang on, give me a second. 59 degrees Fahrenheit. We're dealing with 204,877 miles on the odometer. And it's December 21st, 2023. Welcome to the Please Subscribe show. Hello, I'm Cole Spivey, and welcome to the Please Subscribe show. A lot of things to talk about. It is December 21st, 2023 as we're recording this. We know that A.D.W.C is moving somewhere within Florida. And I wanted to do a shout out to my good mime friend, Gregg Goldston. I saw him last night, still watching it. It's a 2-hour special on gym masters. If you're an actor or a performer or a dancer or you move around, watch Gregg Goldston. It's spelled G-R-E-G-G, and then the last name is G-O-L-D-S-T-O-N. He is possibly the world's greatest mime, and maybe the world's greatest mime of all time. We don't know yet. We have to line him up. He studied under Marcel Marceau, a character named Beep, the clown, who rose against the Nazis' occupation in France and saved, I think, up to 10 or 20,000 children or something, or even more than that. He did a movie about him called Resist with Jesse Eisenberg. Anyway, another thing about Gregg is he is teaching, and it's mostly like an online thing. But he's a great mime artist. I worked with him for a few weeks in the summer, like the mid-90s. And I went through an intensive mime training with him. I also trained with the mime down here south in Texas, well, in North Texas. Johnny Simons, who's another remarkable mime, possibly one of the best of all. But Marcel Marceau is the most famous, so that's the one we know, the Beep. He was in Mel Brooks' silent movie. He had one line as an actor in that movie. He played a mime, and his line was, "No." Okay, now, about Gregg, I did talk with him a few years back when we first started the show, p.s.s, Please Subscribe show. He did say if things went well and everything, there's a possibility I could possibly maybe video him in action as a mime. I'd love to find a way to bring him to Bass Hall. Bass Hall is one of our biggest Fort Worth performance art arenas. It's a theater. They bring in musicals from Broadway and everything. But it would be remarkable. Mimes sell out every night when they perform. And now I saw Marcel Marceau at Hunter College in the turn of the century, like it was like 1999 or something like that. And he performed, and they dedicated a day in New York to Mime Day. And I wish I could remember that exact date, but it was around spring break is all I remember. We did not participate, Marcel Marceau being there. I did not know. And a friend of mine, Rhiannon, and I showed up in New York City, hung out on the subway, and went to Smalls, a jazz cafe. We just kind of just did the whole walking around New York City as much as we could. There, lo and behold, is Beep on, Beep on the wall. And I said, "That's Marcel Marceau." And it was a poster. I said, "We have to go see him." We tried to see Stomp, but we fell asleep, and we missed the performance. We stayed at some hotel in the city and fell asleep, missed Stomp completely. I said, "We're not missing Marcel Marceau." And so I called Mom. I said, "Mom, we're gonna need some extra money to see Marcel Marceau. Can you help out? We did not expect this. We missed the performance of Stomp. Is it possible?" Mom helped, and we got to see Marcel Marceau. And lo and behold, again, there in the lobby, as I walked up with Rhiannon, was the one and only Gregg Goldston, who was my teacher. Did not expect to see him. I knew that he hung out with Marcel Marceau. I thought maybe he would be holding the title card or the flag. But there he was in the lobby, and he walked right up to me. I said, "Gregg." And he's like, "Hey, what's doing?" We had this whole conversation. And then we talked a little bit about mime. Mimes like to talk about mime. But at the time, I was still studying, of course, acting was always my love. And I think Gregg knew that. But we put together a few mimes, and I was able to do a couple of solo shows here in Fort Worth. One called A Cup of Joe, and another one with some magicians at another theater called Sage and Silo. The Cup of Joe performance was at Hip Pocket, and I think that was mostly 2 shows that I did of a mime show. I highly recommend it if you're a performer. You'd be crazy not to study it. And he does mention A.D.W.C, which I did some of that stuff today, which has to be understood when you're approaching mime. And Johnny also taught that as well. Johnny Simons taught the same technique. A.D.W.C is a kind of like a dancer, but he broke down aspects or parts of the body to isolate parts of the body so that you could better tell the story with your thoughts and imagination as well as with your body. Anyway, see it. It's in Jim Masters' show. It's on YouTube. It's like a 2.5 hour show or something. I'm still trying to get to the tail end of it. If you are a mime, you have to see the show, and if you're an actor, you have to see it. It's a great lesson in mime and learning about Gregg and his world of being a mime, and also learning about movement, physicality, he calls it. You just have to watch the interview with Jim Masters. Jim Masters is actually pretty entertaining. I'm checking him out right now. We're going in a lot of rain right now. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I'm watching. I'm excited. I didn't know Gregg was on a show, and this is just a wonderful thing. He even mentions when Marcel Marceau was on Red Skeleton. Yeah, there was a Red Skeleton hour. But hopefully Jim Masters or someone else will have Gregg on another show, and we'll be able to see him perform. Now, he has a collection of his work on YouTube. Highly recommended. It's right there up there with Marcel Marceau. You can see Marcel Marceau's work in Gregg. It's amazing if you watch the 2. He also, in the interview with Jim Masters, he talks about Harpo Marx. He also talks about Charlie Chaplin. He will talk a lot about Charlie Chaplin. And of course, he talks about Beep the Clown, which is Marcel Marceau. Anyway, love it. Check it out. We're going up to the Botanic Gardens. Not going to be able to see Lightscape. We're budgeting. We will be doing delivery. And I like it when the car kind of like, goes in like a little spiral circle. I kind of show you that. And I would like to say one thing, that I do employ some of the crew's technique when I'm doing this, because I'm also the cameraman. Yeah, so I would, if you're a vlogger, you might want to study mime. Because you're using like your hands and your body to tell a story. You're holding an object in place, and you're thinking about angles and all that's going on within your body from head to toe when you're doing this stuff. But you're also thinking about speech, which is very difficult. So it's a triumph in itself. And believe it or not, I've watched Adam the Woo from other vloggers and noticed that he has a physicality gift. I think they all do, whether they know it or not. The way that they stand and things when they're holding the camera, and also the way they present themselves. All right, Botanic Gardens, Lightscape, coming up. You can get your tickets for $30 if you're a non-member. If you are a member, they're as cheap as $18. They're in 15-minute slots. They do serve cocoa and dessert, and I think you have to buy it while you're going on the adventure through the Lightscape. But I recommend it. It looks amazing. I don't think we're going to be able to see it this year. It goes even into January, and that's the entrance to Botanic Gardens right now. Check it out. And up ahead, we'll be approaching some other kind of entertainment venues. And this little introduction is brought to you by Jack Link's Jalapeno. It does have cheese and beef. Sorry, you're gonna have to listen to me chew. This is Casa Manana right here. They got a Christmas tree in the lobby. Great theater. The best Christmas pageant ever in Susie Cole the Music. And they ran out of Christmas trees at Farrington Field. All right, first delivery, 5:25, 14 minutes, 3.5 miles. It's a big one. About 15 of them. River. Yep, you betcha. Look at that beautiful tree. It's a beautiful time of the year, especially to deliver food to people. Nice buildings over there. It's a little gray, don't get me wrong, but there's charm into it, you know. Charming gray day with rain. I always find it charming, the sound of the rain pelting against the glass or the windshield. Reminds me of a rainy day. That's what it reminds me of. It smells like rain too. You can kind of hear it if I roll this down. Nice little yellow car driving by. Oh man, what a day. So I'll just kind of feed you in. I had to crunch my day like very quickly because I decided to sleep in, which is not the good thing. But you know what goes in your mind when you decide to sleep in? It's like, this feels good. Why waste the feeling? Why waste that feeling? But really, if you get up, get some coffee, if you can get a hold of coffee. I drink tea, but I should drink more coffee. You know, then the day gets started. You know, it's the difference between being disciplined and being lazy is that fight in your mind. Well, it feels good. I should just lay here. No, get up. If you can hear this right now from your television, get up, make some coffee, stretch, do some leg kicks, run in place, twist a little bit. There's the Masonic Lodge. Never seen any of them. Never seen, oh, what in the world was that? Never seen anybody walk in there or walk out. But there's the sign for it. They call it the Masonic Temple. And there's the new Quick Trip right there, right off Lancaster. We're going to the Down and Out bar to drop off this food order. This is right on West Rosedale. There it is, the Down and Out. Having a huge party tonight at the Down and Out, and they have, whoa, that was a bump, 15 orders. So they're circular and they've got cheese on them and some meat, sure, the works. And they're doing that, the whole party thing. And they have Fort Worth Weekly right now is, I guess they're advertising, or they're presenting the top local bands of Fort Worth in their magazine. Well, it's a newspaper magazine, the Fort Worth Weekly. So they're doing it right now. I didn't get a chance to get a copy of it, but it's going on as we speak. And the Down and Out is on Rosedale. Looks like they're having a lot of fun. So it looks like it's going to be a good one. Yeah, so bring it down to Fort Worth. They've got, at Nickel City, cold beer, mixed drinks, and hot food. It looks like a pretty cool one, too. Tons of bars in Fort Worth, so they don't hold back from the bar thing. And back in the day, when I'd have a pint or a beer, I've been sober for many years. And then, you know, on New Year's, I might have a glass of wine. But I would go to the Flying Saucer, which is downtown, right next to what was known as 8.0. And that was in the AMC movie theater district area, right over there by where Barnes & Noble used to be. They moved Barnes & Noble. I don't know what they did with it. But now they have the Cheesecake Factory too. They brought that in. Really nice. Right next to Bass Hall, which, you know, they bring in the greatest to Bass Hall. James Patterson, the writer, I saw him there. He did a kind of a little one-man show about his life as a writer. He was a serial writer. So, you know what? Is that Vickery? Yeah, it is Vickery. It's the wrong way. Sorry about that. I was going towards Stage West. Never done a show at Stage West. I've only helped them backstage and helped them install the seats when they were when they were by the TCU area. I helped them install the seats, and I was taught acting in an acting class by Jerry Russell, who started Stage West. I had many acting teachers, more than one. Jerry Russell was one of the probably, who knows, 20 acting teachers that I've had, and coaches and things like that. Jerry was great. He was very kind of a system actor. He did talk about the method when he could. He loved David Mamet. He loved words, and he was a great guy. He was a great performer. Loved to watch him on stage. He was a wonderful presence, very warm-hearted. Even though he did cast me in Jump the Train at River Point and fired me, but I'm okay with it, you know. Just like Harvey Keitel's okay with Francis Ford Coppola firing him from Apocalypse Now. Those things happen. You just have to still, you know. And I know that Harvey Keitel still likes Francis Ford Coppola, but Jerry's passed away, so they've got a plaque to Jerry Russell in Stage West on the hallway. It looks a lot like him. Jerry would sing. He was a singer too. He was a big smoker. He liked to drink. He would always be at the piano when we were at the TCU area, and he'd be singing show tunes. He knew all of them. But yeah, he was big with, he did some Sam Shepard at Stage West. He did David Mamet. November, I saw November at the Vickery Theater. My friend Rob was in it. Friend playwright Rob Vasquez, he played the Native American character. I told him he had the essence of Gene Wilder. He reminded me of the childlike surprise on his face. It was very much like Gene Wilder. Loved that performance. It was a lot of fun. Jerry was in it. They had photographs of it. They may even have it on video. Nowadays, guys, when you have a community theater, you can put it all on digital video and store it on a cloud. That's going to be big revenue. And community theaters are going to turn into professional theaters because of that. Because they can air it on YouTube. I think it was like Hip Pocket. They got 172,000 views for Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein. That's a lot of people watching one community theater show. You know? And that's amazing. It's going to create a revenue for community theater. And if any theater out there wants me to come to them and help them with YouTube, I will show up as quick as possible and give you all my knowledge of everything to help you. To get subscribers. There's tricks to the trade. Watch Adam the Woo. There's a way to do it. It's not just throwing it up there. The cool thing about Hip Pocket's Abbott and Costello Meets Frankenstein is it starts off with them putting on makeup backstage. It's fascinating. I haven't seen it all. I'm going to watch it. But it's a fascinating little video that got tons of attention. 172,000 views for a community theater show is amazing. And it's amazing. I put it on, I watched the first 3 minutes, and I know just like that thing is great. You know? And I was like, this is great. This is such an exciting time to be alive in the arts because of the way that we can store stuff on clouds. We don't just disappear, you know, anymore. There's a Masonic lodge. No one entering, no one exiting. Very spooky. Let's just look at it for a minute. All right, and then there's QT. What a Lancaster. All right, next delivery's in 3 parts. It'll be 6:46, 9 minutes, 3.5 for the first one. Well, Linda called. The Casa Manana is like a full parking lot of cars, so it's probably for the greatest Christmas pageant ever, and that's going on right now. So it looks like they have most likely a full house. So it's looks like it's close to sold out. Every single parking spot is taken. I didn't get to get that information because I had to talk about Linda. She wants to do a Chick-fil-A versus McDonald's vlog. I thought it was a good idea. But the only way we'll probably be able to do that is go by Chick-fil-A, grab something basic, and go by the McDonald's and grab something basic. Which I think there's one right next to the other. So we might be able to. I'll have to talk to her tomorrow if we leave early. Probably get like a Big Mac versus a Chick-fil-A sandwich or something like that. We'll talk about what we choose. It could be a chicken. I think a better one would be a chicken sandwich from McDonald's versus the Chick-fil-A sandwich, and see which one is better. Show which one has pickles and things like that. And you know which one has pickles. That would be Chick-fil-A. They may both have pickles if you ask for it. So they probably do. But they have different type of pickles. We'll have to figure it out. Rainy nights. You gotta go even kill. Even when it's not raining, but especially when it's raining. Best to get from point A to point B and just, keep it smooth. Plus you're carrying a delicate package of food. All food's delicate. Looks like they went all out on the Christmas lights over here. Tell you guys, love you all. I was on the couch too long last night, so I gotta stretch out my shoulder. But work is always good for that. I'm thinking that one right there.